Welcome to Kids Academy.
Hi, it's Coach Rob from Kids Academy, and today we'll be learning about the King and Queen checkmate. Now, I can't tell you how many games I have won using this checkmating pattern, and now I will teach it to you. This happens all the time in chess. It happens if you have a really hard game, and you have a king and a pawn against a king, and you're able to march your pawn across the board and promote it to a queen. You need to know how to do this. This also happens in easier games when you have a big material advantage. You need to use your king and queen as a team to force the enemy king to the corner where you can get checkmate. Now, I teach the queen and king checkmate in 3 steps. Step 1, put the queen on a square that if she magically turned into a knight, the king would be in check. I'll go ahead and say that again. Put the queen on a square that is a knight's move away from the enemy king. And what that means is put the queen on a square where she would be checking the king if she turned into a knight. In this example, I see a bunch of such squares. F3 is a knight's move away. D3 is a knight's move away. D7 is a knight's move away. G4 is a knight's move away. There are a bunch. But for whatever reason, I'm drawn to the move Queen D3. This is a knight's move away from the enemy king. And what this does is it puts the black king in a box. There is an invisible line going up, an invisible line going across, and there is this make-believe box that this king cannot get out of. You can never put your king in danger, so the king cannot go to this file. He cannot travel to this rank. He is stuck. He is a prisoner in the box. And congratulations, step 1 is already done. Step 2 is kind of fun. It's a game of copycat. Whatever the king does, you follow. If the king goes up 1, you go up 1. And you'll begin to see this box is shrinking. It's getting smaller and smaller. If the king goes diagonally up 1, we just copycat. We go diagonally up 1. And once again, the box is shrinking. Notice how I'm not checking the king. So many times when you have a queen and king checkmate, I'll see players just keep check, 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 but they're not actually checking with purpose. They're not forcing the king to a part of the board where they desire the king to go. They're just not really planning ahead, and just check after check after check will not result in the checkmate that you're hoping for. So do this box technique. A knight's hop away from the king. Step 2, copycat. If the king goes diagonally down 1, we copycat that as well. Diagonally down 1. The box might have gotten a little bit longer, but also we're cutting off a file. It's getting a little bit narrower. If the king goes up, we go up, copycat. We're still in step 2. If the king goes diagonally down 1, we copycat again. And already, look at all of these squares the queen is attacking. This box is now only 3 squares big. In only 6 moves, we've driven the king to the edge of the board. He goes up, we copy. Now the box is only 2 squares big. If the king goes up, this is the one time we do not copy. Because if we play the move Queen G6, do you know what will happen? Well, if you've already seen the video on Stalemate, which was a couple lessons before this one, this will be a stalemate. Queen G6, it's black's turn. The king is safe. The king has no moves. These are all taken away by the queen. Black cannot move. The black king is safe. It is a draw. So the one time we don't copycat is when the box is 2 squares big. We always need to give the king a safe square so he can shuffle back and forth until we're ready to give checkmate. So step 2 is complete. Copycat is done. We've shrunken the box to 2 steps. Step 3, bring in our king. As strong as the queen is, she cannot get checkmate by herself. We need the king to come in to cover some very important squares, or maybe even protect the queen as she delivers mate. And now we are ready for the checkmate. And there are actually 5 different squares the queen can go to checkmate the king. And notice how the white king is guarding G8 and G7 and even G6. These are very important squares to kind of keep the king trapped in the corner. So go ahead and pause the video. Try to find all 5 squares the queen can go to checkmate the king. If you said queen g8, you're absolutely correct. The king protects the queen attacks these squares. CPR does not work. Same with queen g7, same idea. The king guards the queen attacks the squares around the king, and h8. Also, queen h4, attacking on the h file, and our white king is here. The king cannot step out. Queen h5 is mate, and so is queen h6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different squares. The move queen f6 looks tempting, but this would not be checkmate, just a check, because after queen f6, where can the king go? If you said h7, you're correct. Same thing with the move queen d8, check, but once again, h7 is safe. And of course, we don't want to play queen g6 in this move. That would be the worst move for us because it would be a stalemate. We're attacking all these squares, but not the king's square, not h8, so he would be in stalemate. So this happens all the time in chess. The king and queen checkmate should be learned by every aspiring tournament chess player, or even every hobbyist. We need to be able to checkmate the king following our 3 steps. Step 1, put the queen on a square that is a knight's move away from the enemy king. And what that really means is put the queen on a square that if she turned into a knight, the king would be in check. Step 2, we copycat. Wherever the king goes, we copy. If the king goes up, we go up. If the king goes diagonally down, we go diagonally down. And you will see this technique begins to shrink the box and pushes the king in the corner. The one time we don't copy is when we are getting ready for stalemate. We always have to give the king a square to go to. So once the box is small enough, it is time for step 3, that is bring our own king in, and usually put him kind of across from the opposing king so he can help either guard the queen or cover escape squares when the queen gives the checkmate. Now, you don't have to force the king up to the h8 square. You can force the king to any of the sides or any of the corners. It will work in all of them. Some corners will be faster than others depending on the position or where your queen is or where their king is, but this strategy will work regardless. 3 steps: knights move away, copycat, bring in the reinforcements, bring in the king. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Subscribe to our channel to stay updated on new videos. Find links to our apps in the comments below.